Hello everybody, this is Lila in Hawaii. I'm just going to show you a couple of the things I've been working on for Christmas. Nothing special really, but just quick and easy items. I must say the first one is kind of a throwaway. I painted these two cardinals sitting on a branch, and then I didn't know what to fill in for the background because they were rather small, so I sort of just blotched on some green to mimic some greenery. Then I really didn't like it. I thought, that's not even professional looking, because normally I paint, nice and neatly and detailed. But anyway, if you want to do something like this, what I did was I painted two cardinals sitting on a branch, and I just drew the cardinals, but you can trace them off the internet. There are lots and lots of pictures, and this is just printer paper. I didn't use any particular kind of paper. I must say it's a little, crumply, wrinkly, and often when I've painted them, I press them under some heavy books, or sometimes I've even resorted to ironing them. Anyway, when I finished painting this, still didn't like it. I thought, what am I going to do? I usually throw them away, but I thought, no, I'll try and resurrect it. So I splattered on some red and white to look like snow, and then just some red accents. And then I still wasn't happy with it, so I thought, I know what, let's put some bling on it. So I put some glitter on. It looks a whole lot better. Then I thought, well, now, to make it into a card, to put it on the card would be, these are the cards I buy, the blanks. I thought, that's okay, yeah, that's not bad. But it would look so much better if I had a background of some red. And this is what I usually do when I have a painting that I need a background. I decal the edge, so I've gone ahead and I've decaled three edges of that, and I'll just show you what I mean. I decal, let me say which way did I do it. Yep. I decal the edge with the decal edge scissors. You could always rip it, it wouldn't give you quite the same look. I have done that, rip it with a ruler, and this works just fine. It's a little tricky because I've got the glitter on already, and chomping through the glitter, not the easiest thing to do. Anyway, there you go. So I've deckled all the edges, and then what I do to kind of cover the white is I put some sort of stain around the edge. This one is Shabby Shutters, and I just simply go around and just to cover up really any white that shows, and just kind of gives it a little more finished look. You could use walnut stain, you could use, and I have used felt tip marker, just whatever you really have. This is what I happen to have around. So anyway, I've gone ahead and I've done that. Now the next thing to do is to make the card, and what I do real quick is I take a piece of, this is just that kids craft paper, I forget what it's called, but stuff they use at school, it's red, and then I want to get this centered, so it's actually centered. You can always trim it later if it's not quite centered how you like it, but I usually put my hand on there, and I'm going to, and by the way, this will be pressed under wax paper and a book when it's done. So here we go. Well, here we don't go. So hard to get these glues to start sometimes. Anyway, here we go. This is the best one I've found for this kind of thing, which is just plain old Elmer's glue all, not school glue. School glue is a waste of money. Anyway, here we go. So there we go. Make sure I've got no glitter on that, and then I'm going to simply try and center that on the red. I've already cut the red. The red was a big sheet, and I just cut it. There. So I say, I'm going to press this all under a book with some wax paper over it to finally flatten it, and it's best to do that before it's really, really dry. Now, if you look at that, you'll see it's a little bit wider there. That's not quite right. I don't have one of those paper trimmers, so I just do this way. So there we go. Now, to mount it on the card, I simply do this. And it looks I don't know if you can see the sparkle, but it does look a whole lot better when it's got the sparkle on it, especially when it's a dud painting like that. A throwaway, really. So if you've got some throwaways, scraps that you're, just playing with, if you're a painter, maybe you can resurrect them and make something a little decent out of them. Okay, so here we go. So now I'm putting that. So there's the card, Christmas card, and you've painted it yourself, so people like that. And then, of course, I think they are nicer, no matter how amateur or primitive. I just think the idea is really nice. Then I'm just going to put my name. All I do is put Lilla. This pen's not working too well. There, and then here's the envelope. Not going to put it in the envelope right now, of course, because I have to press it. So that's just one quick idea. You could use something cut out of, the pictures could be cut out of a book and sort of, for example, any of these off this is a catalogue. You could cut out some of these, be kind of cute, and sort of collage your own picture and just paint the background. Done that before. Say you want to paint a house. You can see that. Yeah. You could cut that out, glue it on, and then just paint the background, put some glitter, and away you go. So that's an idea. So I'm just going to lay that aside now, and then I'll press that when I'm through with the video. Then the other thing I do is I make little ornaments for the tree, and I paint these by little canvases. So there's one. And this is how the back is done. I glue on some paper and some twine. It's not quite dry, so I'm just being careful. And then paint something on the front. And if it shows up, I'm not sure, but this is a snowflake. And I just painted a little bird and then wrote the word Noel. So that's 2 there. I have to turn the back over. Then you can also get the little canvases. These are not magnetized, but you can get them as magnets, and they look like that on the back. And then these came off my own refrigerator. I've painted tons of these and given the best ones away, so these, I might say, are my seconds. But anyway, you can paint little scenes onto your magnet canvases, and they're for the refrigerator. So why not paint some for Christmas as well? These are not really for Christmas. These are just little country French things that I painted. And those, as I say, are all done onto that magnet stuff. So here we go. Now, I've got one canvas already. That's a canvas without the magnet. And then here, I've got one with the magnet. And I've gone ahead and I'm going to do them that pretty aqua, just for a change of pace. I thought that looked kind of nice with some glitter. These have glitter and so forth. So I'm going to do that, and I'll show you how I do that. Now, right now, I've already painted the sides, and I recommend painting the sides because it's hard to do them after you've got your canvas wet. But while you're painting the sides and letting them dry, you can be thinking about what you want to put on your canvas. So to paint them, now this aqua paint that I've got is really, really strong. I mean, really, the aqua itself, I'm mixing it with white, but the aqua is, oh my, you've got to be careful with things like this. It's really, really strong. Strong meaning it has a lot of pigment. So I'm going to paint just sort of loosely. This is the magnet one, and I'm going to just kind of basically color the background some. And as I said, it's pretty strong, and it's kind of going to be maybe a little streaky. I'm not going to paint the whole thing. I'm going to leave some white showing, and that's going to be enough. The only thing is it's a little streaky, so I'm going to use my finger right now. And then do that. Okay, so that's one. I'll set that aside. That may or may not dry before I finish talking to you. So now here's another one. You're going to do the same thing. I'm just going to paint put a little more water on this one. How long they're going to take to dry. It's not a good drying day here in Hawaii, which is unusual. But anyway, I'm going to do that one like that. Set it aside to dry while I think. Now I'm going to think about, and I may not have time to show you how I think about the design. So I'll talk to you about these while that's hopefully drying a bit. So for this one, I did the same thing. I painted the background a bit, and then I just drew with a pencil, just drew a little bird, just drew it out of my head, and then I wrote the word Noel down here. You see that? Yeah. I just wrote that with pencil, and I have to go over that with one of these Pigma pens, and I will do that. That one's not the best. I think I almost need new Pigma pens. So if you write it with pencil first, you can sort of correct any mistakes before you've committed to painting. So I've gone over the Noel, and when that's dry, I'm actually going to paint over it with the aqua paint, just a little to subdue it a bit. Now this bird, he's sitting, and so I think he needs to be sitting on a branch. So I've got some other acrylic paints here, and I'm not going to put them out of the tube, these ones. I'm just going to take my little brush and just dip it in like so, because I don't need much at all. And I'm going to see if I can give him a little bit of a branch to sit on. It needs I don't need much brown on it at all. Okay, so I've put him on a branch like that. Where is it? Can you see that? Oh, there it is. And I think what I'll do is I'll just give it a couple of little other side branches. Just a little bit like that, to give him the little branch he's sitting on. Okay. And he's carrying the message of Christmas, which is Noel in French. And then on this upper corner here, you probably can't see it too well, but I drew a snowflake, and then I drew over it with Elmer's glue. Glue All, my favorite for this kind of thing. Not school glue, Elmer's glue oil. So I did that, and then I sprinkled it with glitter and let it dry. It's actually not showing up the snowflake too well, because the glitter was kind of thick. But anyway, I like it. So I'm going to leave that to dry, and then when it's dry, I'm just going to paint over that. This is indelible ink, so it'll be all right. Okay, let's see now. What did I do on this one? Well, this one, of course, I haven't signed my name on any of them, and if I do, I will sign it on the back. Okay, don't want to mess up the front. So this one, I painted a little cottage, a couple of bare trees. I put a little gate down here, and I just used the same colors, pretty much, just brown, aqua, and white. And on this one, I put some white dabs that are the snowflakes or snow. And on this one, I haven't done that yet, so I'm going to go ahead and show you. I take the end of the paintbrush I needed it to be a little thicker. I don't know whether you can see that. This one's kind of a small brush. Maybe you can. I'm painting a little dot here and there just for some snow. In fact, I may put one right in the center of the snowflake, like that. And then on the white part, I'm putting some of the aqua. Just a few little dots. So that's that one. Now I'm going to check and see if the other ones are dry to paint on. Nope, not dry. No, they're not dry, so I can't show you how I would paint those, but I think I've given you an idea. On one of them, I intend to draw a tree. On one of them, I thought I would draw a tree, and then I'll put a word and some glitter. And let me see if I could even though it's still wet. These are just, by the way, little acrylic paints. Now on these, you may notice, or you may not notice, but they're shiny. I did spray these with a varnish. They're going on the fridge, and I would recommend that if they don't have glitter. But if they have the glitter, you can't spray them because the glitter gets all messed up and it doesn't work. So let me see if I can. Okay, so I've drawn a little tree there, and I'm going to put some little, let me see, I'm going to paint this, of course, and hopefully you won't see the pencil marks because I'm not able to erase them. And so then I'm going to put a word on this one. I've put Noel. Let's put let me see. I'll think about that later. Haven't thought about that. So anyway, it's basically going to be the tree, and then I'll fill in with some glitter and a few smaller trees, like so. I'll have to show you what I mean by that. So I'll put another tree there, and put another one there. So I've got a couple of little trees beside that. So that's going to be that one. It's not dry enough to paint yet. And then this one, I thought I'd do another snowflake because I kind of like that. So I'll just show you my method of doing the snowflake, but I can't paint it right now, but I certainly can draw it. So what I do is I turn this on an angle. Well, not necessarily for you. Don't think that works too well. You see, you've got that? Yeah. So what I do is I make a cross, and then I make another cross, and then I make another cross. So that's the beginning of the snowflake. And then on the sides of the snowflake things, I don't know what you call those, I cross hatch each of the little bars. And I don't go right across them because I want them to be uneven. And then, of course, I'm going to paint this. Now, it's small, so it's a little hard to do it with a paintbrush. So you might have a felt tip marker or something. Anyway, there's my little snowflake. And later on, I'm going to put another word there. Maybe the word holiday. So I've written the word holiday on the bottom in pencil, and of course I'll be painting that later. Anyway, that's that for this little visit. Hope you like that. Here they are. There's this one again. None of them are dry, unfortunately, so I can't continue. Another idea, though, would be if you want to put a star on one, instead of the snowflake, you could put a star, maybe a smaller star than this. You could just use cutouts from a catalogue. I thought you could, as I said, you could cut out something from that and put that on, and then proceed from there. You do need to cover the background because it's like that, and so I normally go ahead and find something that's a similar color, like so, from a magazine, and I cover the background to match. And then the handle, if it's an ornament, that would have a twine loop, and if it's a magnet, which is going to be like this, you don't need one. Anyway, thank you for watching. Happy holidays and happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.